moves slow, time moves fast. In this dance we call the past. Mental health, a fragile thread, but we'll find strength. Let love spread, life's a climb. Just take a step, rise above, find your breath in the darkness. We will find a shining light to free our mind, to free our mind. Self-growth blooms like petals bloom, shedding tears will heal the wounds and the chaos. Let's find peace, embrace the pain, let it release.
Relax your mind. It's divine time.
As far as like I said on my broadcast tonight on my channel, I had a video that I just put up. One thing about Christians and especially preachers, you know, they went to seminary school. They don't understand the diametrical difference between God with a capital G, God in all lowercase letters, and God with a capital G with lowercase letters. They basically think that's the same entity, but it's not. God in all caps, that is basically the epitome of the Most High. Mm-hmm. God with a capital G and lowercase letters, that is basically a nomenclature title for Enlil, who is Yahweh, who is Moloch, who is Baal, who is also Satan. So when you look in the Bible, God with a capital G and lowercase letters is all out the Bible. That is basically Satan. So that's why when you go,
Boss man, you rarely check your Telegram.
Be on that thing, bro. But yeah, I'm definitely down to talk about that. I was just honestly in my subconscious, bro. I was just thinking about that riding to work yesterday.
Oh,
Like the shit. Hell yeah, I always think about that. Like things we go through as a black man growing up, especially the majority of us who don't have fathers.
Yeah,
bro. The mind of a young black man without a father is tragic, bro. Like it's hard as fuck trying to find your way.
It really is, and I mean, with it's crazy because it's like there's a lot of melanated men who don't have father figures, and that was something that was brought up like 2 weeks ago while we were doing the episode. And one of my homeboys, Mr. Impossible Ralph, he started talking about the fatherless pain, and it was just like. So I mean, this Saturday is about to be good. I'm about to have mostly guys on.
What time Saturday?
It's gonna be 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right, so 7. I'll be off by then. I get off around like 5, 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay. All right,
cool.
Yeah,
I'll definitely be in attendance, bro. I definitely.
Okay, yeah, hey, and with it, by all means, please provide some insight because I mean, again, you never know what other people are going through, and I mean, you might have a story that's similar to other individuals. So please, by all means, speak your truth, bro. Add some insight because I mean, you've been through things that I haven't been through, and vice versa. And I'm like, with it,
definitely, we can all learn from each other.
Facts, and I'm like, that's what. Like last week, we were talking. The topic was let's discuss solutions followed by action, and the topics that we had having was the bear versus man. Ultimately, what I came down to the root was lack of trust in humanity. Then we talking about mental health in the melanated community, and then the last topic we ended up discussing was the disconnect between generations.
Oh damn!
And
that's good.
The solution ultimately came down to us. We lack community.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that.
I'm like, yo,
Bro, I miss being on the
get
panel
good.
so much, bro. I gotta hop in next one,
Hey,
bro.
it's every Saturday, bro. Every Saturday, I
I know, bro. I
got a
miss being
Facebook
on the
chat.
panel, dog. I
I
gotta
got a
hop
Facebook
in.
chat. I got a Facebook chat, little Facebook chat, and with it, I'm like, I invite people on there, and I change the topic to what the topic's going to be for the next week. Once we get
Uh-huh.
done, you know how we do like at the end, like, once we get off live, we chop it up and everything, and we discuss, we talking, and then usually we end up figuring out what the next topic is going to be. So that way, everybody
Yeah.
has like a week to go ahead and like write their notes if they want to, so
Notes
on.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, definitely, bro. You always welcome. You always welcome. It's nice to have people
Yeah.
with a high emotional intelligence, people who can
No
come
doubt.
and conversate without taking offense to anything and are constantly seeking a higher understanding.
Yeah. But no doubt, definitely on this, I'm gonna have to hit my notebook up with this because I definitely want to touch on a couple key points.
I keep mine next to me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm always writing. I'm always writing. I mean, whether it's just things that I'm going through or things that cross my mind. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm working on a book as well. So
Oh, that's dope.
yeah, I got big things cracking, bro. And then now, with all the people who are reaching out to me and speaking their truths, I'm starting to drop those episodes on Wednesdays.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, yeah, if you
That's
want
gonna
to,
be.
if you ever want to step
That's.
in and speak your truth, we can go ahead and get
Oh,
that
hell
down.
yeah. You know I'm always down.
All right, respect. But yeah, what I'm doing is I missed out last night on watching Dre OG's live. Like I saw it was
Yeah.
on, but we were having family night, and I was like, all right, I'll catch it. So I started watching this morning. I was like, wait a minute, I'm out of Facebook jail, so let me go ahead and just jump on live, and if anybody else want to join in, they can. So that's what I'm doing
Yeah,
right
I
now.
got to watch a little bit of it last night while I was on my second job.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't
I be
finish
at,
it?
nah, I ain't get a chance to finish it.
Hey, bro, let's kick it then.
Go ahead, man. Like, bro, I ain't know you was on them though. Like, I've been watching bro videos for a minute.
Yeah, I've been on him for probably about a year and a half now. Like I learned about him. Let me pause this real quick.
Right?
I learned about him
You gotta
because
understand.
I learned about him because I remember briefly seeing this one girl and she was talking mess and she was referencing him. And I was like, who is this? I looked at him, I like went to his video based off of her talking crap on him, and I got pretty hooked on his stuff. I was like, okay. I was like, bro, man, actually,
Mhm.
like, he reacts and provides insight as well. Other people just
He
like sit there
does.
like, oh, damn. And then they're like, boom, go on to the next one. They'll like say a little spill and they'll go. I'm like, nah, bro, man, actually be dropping some knowledge. He be
Yep.
looking further into things to try and learn
And
more about it.
another, what I give him, he'll be like, just don't just believe what you see or hear here. Go do your own research.
Yeah.
In
And
every video.
yeah, the thing what I like about him too is the fact that the way he sets his videos up, he's building it into something.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Definitely, most
dude, you
definitely.
put time into this. I respect that. You put time and effort into this. So big up yourself. But I mean, bruh, his live was like 3 hours and 15 minutes. I'm only like an hour and 20 minutes into it.
Yeah, that's how far I got.
So I'm just like, right now they're doing the questions, the Q&A, and I'm like, hey, let me see what they about to drop on this. So I'm about to go ahead and hit this back up.
Because Yahweh and Enlil and Satan is the same entity. Study the
Thank you.
Tetragrammaton.
I've been saying that.
YHWH translates to agreeable and disagreeable, which is half Anunnaki, half Draconian reptilian. Basically, half cherubim and half seraphim. So
that's something that I was talking to somebody about. I was like, yo, what? I was like, the God in the Bible. I was like, what if like God and Satan is really like how we have like our shadow selves? I was like, what if that's really what it is? I was like, because they speak in like, I feel like the Bible speaks in code. So that way, if you know, you know. And so many people have their own interpretation of it.
You you heard about Billy Carson, right?
Yeah. I'm familiar with 4BK. I got it on my pretty much all my devices.
He has a video explaining that.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, because he says they're the same person. And like, could they be? He poses the question: could they be the same person?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, you think about the way that he changes from Old Testament and New Testament. It's like, wait a minute, what? It's almost like he reached a point where he's like, I'm fucking tired of y'all. Like,
yeah, but nah, because I read the Emerald tablets and I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm
I gotta
gonna
finish.
get the Apocrypha of Adam.
Ooh, get the full Apocrypha.
Yeah, with Eve's book too.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get it, but man,
Okay.
that book is a lot.
Hey, from what I understand, it's worth it. Like,
Yeah, it is. The knowledge
my,
that's in there is crazy.
my big bro Ralph is putting me onto a lot of books. Like, this dude is growing my book collection for real. Like, he got me. Well, he didn't get me. I got it myself. But he put me onto
Mm,
this book, Nile Valley Constructions to Civilization. It's pretty much talking about all of the.
mhm,
It goes through the history. It goes through the history
mm.
of Morocco, Africa, and everything, and it's almost pretty much teaching us the culture that we are missing. I'm like, I
The
gotta get back into that, but right now I'm trying to finish one book at a time because I've been jumping around between a bunch of different books.
Bro, me too. Like right now, I'm trying to it's the Epic of Gilgamesh. I'm trying to get through now. I'm like I'm like a quarter of the way through the book, but I just keep
Mhm.
bouncing around through books and seeing other books that I want to read. Like I still have to order the Enuma Elish,
Okay,
which is pretty much the story of the creation of man.
hey, we need to do a book club for real.
Definitely do. We definitely
We
do
need to
need to
do a
do a
book
book
club.
club.
See, hey, you hear me say it all the time. I'm like, there's a lot of people that want to hoe with you, but nobody want to grow with you. I'm like, bro, I
Yep,
need people around me that want to grow. I'm like, let's do a book club. So I mean, that way we
for
have
real, bro.
accountability buddies as well. So like, shoot,
Yeah,
I'm
that'll
like,
keep
yeah.
me up on my reading as well. So yeah, we could
Exactly. I'm
definitely
like,
do
that's what
that.
I need because it's like people make time for the things that they want, and I'm like, if you're serious
Hmm.
about it, I'm like, you'll have somebody that holds you accountable to it. Like, yo, all right, bet. We're reading this chapter this week. Let's discuss it a little bit and like pique each other's mind. Like, okay, how'd you come with that? Oh snap! I missed that part when I read it. That's a good point. Like,
Yep.
yeah, I need that.
Like
We need to discuss that a little more.
yeah, like when I was reading the Emerald Tablets,
Hmm.
what I was coming up with in my mind on what Thoth was talking about
Yeah.
ain't the same thing that Billy Carson was thinking about. Because like Billy was saying, like the halls of Amentes is like an actual place. It's not.
I remember you saying that's within us. And that was the thing
Yep.
though, because like when I was reading Emerald Tablets and the way that Thoth was saying, he went down deep into the halls of Amenti. Oh,
Into a dark, deep place where there
yes,
was nothing but darkness.
yeah.
That's your mind.
And that's like when you said that, I was like, I can see that. But then also at the same time, he's like talking about how there was like all these lights that were floating around the entity that was down there and other entities that were there. So I was just like, what
Hmm.
the world? And that right there will
That's
cause
the
him to be
spiritual realm.
and that's so I was like, all right, bet. So I mean, the way that you said it, when you had said it, that was deep inside yourself. I was like, dang. But like deep inside
Yeah.
yourself, that's where you'll find the Akashic records and everything too, right?
Yep. That's
So I was just
exactly.
like, and but I like I said, I gotta finish reading. I gotta finish reading the Emerald Tablets to get like the full story, so I can come up with my so
Yeah,
I can be
definitely finish reading it.
truly
It's a good
uplifted. Yeah,
read. It's a
I
real good
definitely do.
read.
I'm gonna go ahead and finish my chakra healing book. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna read the Kabbalion one more time. And then I'm gonna
Hmm.
go ahead and go ahead and go through and finish the Emerald Tablets, and then I'm gonna start the
I need a
knowledge.
chakra book. I need a
Hey,
chakra book.
hey, bro. I mean, shoot, if you want, we can start mailing books back and forth to each other.
Hey, I'm with it, bro.
That way
I'm
we
with
save
it.
some money because I'm like, you got some books that I plan on getting, and I got some you want to
Hell
read.
yeah.
I'm like, hey, bro, why don't we just go ahead and
Oh,
do this?
definitely. Oh, definitely. Because I still plan on getting the Egyptian Book of the Dead. That's
Hey,
in my Amazon. Look,
we got that
another
one.
thing. On another note, what's in my Amazon wish list right now?
Mhm.
I have Sister Shahrazad Ali's The Black Man's Guide to the Black Woman. I
Nice.
definitely got to read that book.
Black man's
Definitely have to
guide.
read that. Yeah,
That sounds good. That sounds good. The
it's a
black
good.
man's
It's a
guide to the black
very,
woman.
from what I've
Woo!
heard, it's a very good read.
The title
And
alone has got me thinking of a bunch of things that could possibly be in there.
yeah,
Man,
like there's some shit that's in that book, man. And
my brother,
it's just
see,
it's the knowledge.
there. I'm like, that is nice sum up. I got a missed call from who? Wait, what? I'm not even in that group. How is that group been reaching out to me? What the No, I just got a call from the Poly Vibes. Sin trying to call me from there. I'm like, I'm not in that group no more.
That's probably Wes.
Dang, everybody blowing me up now. See, look at that. I start having a good conversation. Everybody like, bloop, 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 bloop. I know you hear it in the background.
Uh-huh. I hear the
Got 8
notifications going off.
Oh, you good? Cheese and bread. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn this back on so that way we both can listen to it.
Like I said, man, people just got to do their own independent research and stop believing in these preachers and these damn pastors, because Pastor Porkchop gonna mislead you every damn time. You know what I'm saying? He gonna mislead you every time.
Did he just say Pastor Porkchop?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, but look, like I told y'all, like how I grew up, man. Like I already know, like I grew up in the church. See, the way that we need to be looking at information, I recommend anyway, is we look at everything. We have to have a certain level of discernment too, as well. And like we were talking about, the frequencies and everything, how it affects our body, we can feel a lot of things. We can feel the vibe. You can feel the vibe when you read a book. You can feel it when you're being lied to. Like when we grew up in class and they lied to us and they was telling us certain things about our history and we knew it not to be true.
Facts.
We knew it not to be true. It never resonated with me. They made me sit down. You know how traumatic that is for kids to sit down knowing that you know about yourself and you can see around you that it's not like that, and it's not possible that these things happen, but they telling you that it happened. And now all of a sudden they don't speak about these things anymore because they lied to all of us. That's why when I grew up, we have a certain level of discernment. When I grew up, I didn't hate people. I hated nobody. I didn't hate nobody for believing in a certain religion. I didn't hate nobody for, believing what they believe in, dating who they date. I don't care about none of that shit because I knew that we were being lied to from the beginning. So as a group, as a unit, everybody on this planet, no matter how you feel, we on this rock together, nigga. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
We got to find some way to get along. Why should you care about what somebody else is doing with their life, man?
Or what somebody thinks about you.
To live. We're here
for real, straight up.
For our own.
You hit the nail on the head with that.
We know that shit internally. So therefore, we have to transmute all this information that we have into the best possible outcome that we can possibly have together.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And that's respecting each other. So as we go on this journey,
I'm learning so much from just watching my kids, bro. Like just paying attention to my kids. They are so happy all the time. And it's because of the fact they're not letting anybody else get to them. Like they have not developed an ego yet at this point. And with that, so they do what makes them happy. And I'm like, I think back to when I was a child and I was like, nothing bothered me all the way up till I was probably like in 8th grade. And every time people like joke on me, I would laugh about it because I'm like, I didn't believe that about myself,
Mm-hmm.
Anything that anybody would say, like, you remember that saying, "You're rubber, I'm glue. Anything you say bounce off me and sticks to you." That's pretty much what when it comes down to it. Like, look, the things that you're saying are really projections. So you really, it's bouncing off of me, sticking to you because that's how you feel about yourself. You're speaking your own insecurities onto me. That has nothing to do with me. So that's your reality, not mine. And I'm like, I'm trying to get back to that. So I mean, even like with talking with my kids and like their little responses and everything, I'm like, I can't even get mad. That's me. And I'm like, that's me. Like, yeah, I'm a smart little dude. So I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to look at it, and I really wish that a lot of individuals would get back to that because so many people are ego driven, and I feel like that's what's holding a lot of us back. But hey, what you got to add on to that?
Shit, most definitely. Like a lot of people are too. And I was just speaking with somebody about this the other day. We are too engulfed in other people's lives, like way too much. And like ever since like the internet became predominant to what it is now, it's gotten even worse. Like pretty much, I laid out an example. Like pretty much, it's like you live in a house. You live right here. Your neighbor lives right here. All social media is both of y'all opening y'all blinds, and now you just staring at each other all day, seeing what they doing. Ain't no point in being that nosy.
But I'm like Twitch, YouTube, Twitter,
Yeah.
Facebook, all those pop up on the actual chat on StreamYard, so that's pretty dope. But anyway, getting back to this.
Seeking information. You know, this group of people, I love y'all. You know, we definitely we taking those strides in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you believe in God, if you believe in this, eventually you'll find your way with a certain level of discernment. I'm not here to push nothing on you. B-Dale's not here to push nothing on you. We're just here to have these conversations, and this is amazing that we can do this.
Yep, that's a fact.
I'm not gonna be at a million subscribers right now. It's because I'm getting suppressed right now.
Yeah, like you said, the algorithm got to go through that process, bro. You're right.
Yeah. It's a shift. The algorithm is going through a process. So basically what's happening is, and it's amongst other things too, when I speak about certain things, they throttle me. But
that's one thing I'm having to learn
for a while.
Figure out what I can and cannot talk about, because some things will mess around and get banned. Like I just came out of a jail for a month on
that's why I'm
Facebook.
telling you I smash that like, but they're not recommending me no more. But other people that
you definitely got to learn it
with newer channels, they're
doing content. Definitely,
cycle. I'm not mad at it. It's just the way it is with these people. You know,
I'm not big on reading the fine print.
You know, have y'all notifications on so y'all can get these videos, man. We got way more content to come.
Hey, every day I'm learning more and more about making this better, bro. Like I've done a lot. Like when you on Saturday, you can be like, oh, like
I'll be done.
You gonna be surprised,
man. If you ain't learning daily, you staying stagnant.
I've created a lot.
I don't know. I don't see none.
Man, listen, if you ain't growing daily, you're stagnant.
True.
I just like the hat. I don't drink this
from
shit,
eggs in my water in my business.
I just like the hat, bro.
Fact that I have nothing moving.
I'm a happy dad, dude.
So yeah, we
being some
yoga is not satanic at all. It's not demonic, because yoga in itself has a lot of healing modalities or whatever. Because one thing you gotta understand,
I heard somebody try to say that
the hierarchical chain of command of spirituality.
That yoga is like demonic or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that recently. There was like a little meme that came up, and it was talking about like if you deal with crystals, yoga, meditation, things like that. They were like that right there is demonic. That's not Christian like. And I was like, but it talks about that stuff in the Bible. Like, I mean, the crystals it talks about in the Bible, they even gave crystals during the time when Jesus was being born, even though they got the time that Jesus was born wrong. But
yeah.
I'm like, they talk about the incense and myrrh. I'm like, that right there is burning incense. I'm like, yo, they talk about all this stuff in the Bible. I'm like, people just need to educate. People pick and choose the things that they want to believe. The things that they got selective reading.
Not even that. A lot of them don't realize Jesus left to go practice alchemy, Reiki, tea.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Like the thing, if you read the actual full version of the Bible, Jesus didn't disappear for those years. There's a record of where he went to. There's a full record of every place he went to.
Yep. And then that after he ended up learning all that, I guess that's when he reached that point to where he can really make a difference. And that's when he said, I call my child back from Egypt. Like,
yeah,
it gets deep. It gets deep.
It gets deep, bro, because the thing that he was talking about, it wasn't like when he was referring to, you know, the Christ coming back. He's not Christ isn't Jesus's last name.
Facts.
No, nobody had last names back then.
Talking about the Christ conscious.
That's why John's name was John the Baptist. It was what you did. So Jesus had gained a certain ascension.
Then after that, you got
so
Buddhism, you got
he reached what is called a Christhood.
Babylonian principles, and then after that you got Satanism, then Babylonian.
I'm like, just to tap on that, it's the same thing how they end up calling people like, oh, Master Salheen or Master such and such. It's like that's their title.
Yep.
Principles, and then you got Catholicism,
and not only that,
the Protestant Church, and
like
you got Islam.
If you think about it, a lot of the stuff that they like to deem like bad and stuff, it's not really what it's made out to be.
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta
cause if
feel
you
my
think about it, in the whole, even Christmas, pagan holiday.
feel hot as hell.
If you look at Christmas, that's a pagan holiday that people still, embrace, which is low key demonic.
Yeah, I'm like, you know how they say that. I think it was in Revelation. They said that in end times, what is good will be seen as bad, what is bad will be seen as good.
Yep.
The things that will actually do good for us, they're trying to make it seem like a bad thing. There's an agenda, and the agenda is, if you want to say, to drop the frequency, to create a world that is going to be completely overrun by those in power. I'm like, it is what it is, and I'm like, with it, I think it really just takes that discernment to understand what is going on. I'm like, you
Yeah.
got to have
It's
your mind's eye and really see what's happening. There we go.
yeah. It'll definitely take that.
See, now I can see your messages, bro. Now I can see your messages.
Yeah. But you definitely right on that. It is like it's sort of like a attack on the things that we should know.
And it's almost like they're putting it in our face. Like they try and demonize the things that we're supposed to know, so that way. And I mean, example, let me take COVID for example. When we end up going to quarantine, I feel like the government was trying to see how many people were actually going to bend the fuck over and take that D. Like, are you
Yep.
going to just trust us blindly to
Yeah.
do what we
That's what
say?
it was. That's exactly what it was. It was a trial run.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I feel like there's going to be something even bigger that's going to end up coming now to the fact that they know, like, all right, bet. They have conditioned a lot of the children in the schools and everything to do what they're told rather than think for themselves. Rothschild said, he's like, I want a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it comes down
Yeah.
to it. If everybody just does what they're told, nobody's thinking for themselves, it's easy to have a nation of slaves that will
You're
do
right.
anything that you say, because if they say no, that is evil, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, that's evil, I'm not gonna do that. When in all honesty, they're literally holding you back from what it is that you're able to do, from using your mind to be able to accomplish things and get us out of this system that they have created for us.
Yeah.
It's wild, bro.
A lot of the yoga, and all that stuff comes from ancient Kemet, which also was connected to Buddhism and things of that nature. So it's not satanic. So it didn't come from Babylon. Yoga did not come from Babylon. It didn't come from Catholicism, because Catholicism and Christianity ain't nothing but watered down Satanism when you understand the inception points of where religion came from.
They want them to talk about black.
Let's talk about this black.
No. We can't. Don't talk about that on here.
Oh, no.
And they
Let me
take
take that shit off. Look, I'm already in trouble, y'all.
All right,
Yeah.
let me write that down. Do not talk about
they
black
don't want to
glue.
talk about that.
Do not talk about what?
I was thinking about doing a whole video.
No.
He said black voodoo?
They take
No,
your channel
black
for that,
goo.
bro. I'm telling you, they don't want nobody knowing about that.
Yeah, they said don't talk about black goo. Somebody had just asked the questions like, "Hey, talk about black goo," and then old boy D-Lel or B-Del, he was like, "No, don't talk about black goo." He was like, "You will get taken off for that." So I'm like, I gotta look into that. I want to know what the hell that is.
That Terminator robot.
I'm gonna look into it because he said not talk about it. So
It's that Terminator robot. They found the substance that is like robotic like, and it acts and reacts just like the Terminator. It can even heal itself.
Oh, that's wild. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that after this, bro.
But the Chronos Visor is basically it's a device that they have inside the Vatican that has the ability.
Hey, quick question: do you watch Black Magic?
Black Magic?
Yeah.
That sounds so familiar.
All right, I'm gonna send you a link afterwards, so that way it'll be one of his episodes, so that way you can follow him. He's got a lot of good information on there too. Like he's got Dr. Be Serious comes on there. On there from time to time.
That man got a lot of knowledge.
That man is dope, bro. He is dope.
To project certain things in the past and it takes you into the future. It's basically it goes through an interstellar gateway in a dimensional portal in the mind to where it can show you certain things that's going to be taking place in the future and what happened in the past. It can take you on many different timelines. That's what the Chronos Thesaurus is. Because if you understand the word Chronos on it, right? Because the word Chronos comes from the word chronology. Chronology is a form of time. So you're able to go up in time and back in time in order to see Thesaur what happened or what's going to happen in the future or what happened in the past.
Video, can you go over to Comedic Power Station and what it's about? Dre had it on one of his recent.
A lot of people say that the pyramids are basically kinetic power stations because kinetic power stations have a certain kinetic ability that's connected to the dodecahedron of the planet, which is also
now that's what I got to look into.
Oh,
so it's basically like the when the pyramids are actually turned on, when they have the gold capstone, because gold is a highly conductor of electricity.
I might be able to go live on TikTok.
You have those pyramids turned on. What happens is it can
I might be able to go live on TikTok soon.
Create a phenomenon on the planet. Like I said,
I got a homegirl who is about to put me onto there so I can stream to TikTok as well.
Oh shoot.
This stuff is growing quick. I see why everybody's been trying to get me to stop doing, oh, your podcast ain't gonna take off, your podcast ain't gonna do nothing. I'm like, I already know that my voice is my superpower, if you want to say that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So the fact that if I wanted to, I could expose a lot of shit. I'm not going to. I don't give a fuck about all them. I'm like, I already said, I want to reach those that it needs to reach. I'm not trying to monetize off of that stuff. I've been saying that forever. I'm like, I just want to make sure that I reach like-minded individuals. I'm like, yo.
I was just about to say your message is gonna reach who it's supposed to.
Exactly. And I'm like, that right there is my goal. That's my goal, and I feel that's my mission. I'm supposed to be helping through the things that I have been through, things that I have learned. So it's like with that, it's like I can impact individuals and change their lives if they govern themselves accordingly. So that way they don't end up making the same mistakes and possibly end up saving lives as well. So I mean that's what I aim to do. And I mean with everybody else, we all have been through things and we all can teach other individuals life lessons based off of our experiences. And I'm like, I just noticed that message you sent where you were like, bro, I was watching this last night, came in at 11:11. That's funny as mess. This one right here. Hold on, let me go to it. This message right here. 11:11. Wow.
Aurora Borealis, it can create that green Ethereum energy all over.
I didn't even realize that.
Is Romeo and Juliet about the Anunnaki and reptilian?
I don't know about that.
That's a stretch.
That's new information to me. Like I said, I'm not one of those people where I castigate information.
I think that's a stretch.
But I've never heard of
that. They're reaching on that one.
I've never heard of that.
I ain't never heard that conspiracy.
How did they even get? Okay.
Let's see.
How did they even make that connection?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna think about that. That's hella weird.
Yeah, like I feel like some people.
I'm gonna break down God and
with their conspiracies be far.
In all caps is the Most High. God with a
I mean, if you think about it, years ago, the conspiracies that individuals had end up coming to fruition now, and people thought that they were crazy back then. So I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're constantly learning. I mean, you got to think, what was the motive behind some of the things that were written?
Yeah, but honestly, I found for that to be true, it's like the majority of it got to be like a majority portion of it, or a lot of people have to be up on it for it to like come out as true. The ones that a lot of people really don't know of or don't speak of, a lot of it I feel like is just fake. And that's the first time I've ever heard of that conspiracy.
I've never even thought of making a comparison like that. They said the reptilians.
Me neither.
Is Romeo and Juliet about Anunnaki and reptilians? Like,
no, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I'm like,
I wouldn't think so because I don't even think those two factions are at war.
Anunnaki and the reptilians.
Yeah,
My thing. I'm like, I wonder if like the reptilians are one of the experiments that the Anunnaki made before they end up finally creating us. Because remember, they made a couple different
probably.
test subjects before they finally got it with us. And I'm like, when it came down to us, they were actually able to birth us out of one of their own
Yeah,
women.
but
So I'm like, I
even them,
wonder.
they aren't the original creators.
Exactly, they were just playing God.
So yeah, they were just playing. So it's not even to say like, yo, these are the, the creators of all. It's just they are the ones that they found that created us.
Yeah, and I mean that's the crazy thing too, because even in the Bible it says, "Don't put no God before me." So there are other gods. Those are, I guess you can say, are quote unquote our gods.
No, not really. That was just in Lil speaking.
But
No, real
I'm
talk. That
like,
was in Lil speaking.
yeah, but I'm saying, I'm like, if you want to come through and say like, oh, they are God, it's like they're portraying as our God. But I'm like, there is
Yeah.
a greater power than even them. So it's just like the question is always going to be there, like, who is God?
Dang. Hit the keys.
In lowercase letters, that is
But
Satan.
that
So
was
when you
just
go
pretty
to the
much in Lil
H1408 Strong Concordance, when you
saying
look at
that.
the word God with a capital G in lowercase letters, it equates to the word Gad, G-A-D, which is a derivative of the word Gandriel. It's a prefix of it. Gandriel in the book of Enoch is another title for Satan, right? So like I said, you got to stop, people, as far as like Christians, y'all got to stop reading stuff and thinking everything is the same, bro. Like you got to study the words. You got to break down etymology.
So what he's talking about right now is how you got God in all caps, then you got God with a capital
Yeah.
G and lowercase
Yeah.
od, and then the lowercase G od. Like he's like, yo, there's symbolism right there, and it's talking about different things. And the way that people are reading the
Yep.
Bible, they just take the word as like they take the word God, no matter how it looks, meaning the same in each time. So that's what he's chatting about right now. I don't think you were in here yet when he started speaking on that.
Right? Because you're going to be misled every time if you don't do your own independent research.
Facts.
Melchizedek is a spirit. It's the Christ consciousness.
Is astrology
Melchizedek
satanic?
is connected to the olfactory nerve. The olfactory nerve is what gives the electromagnetic power to the brain, to where you get the Christ consciousness, right? Which is the hypothalamus gland, which is also known as the master gland that powers up the third eye.
Is astrology satanic?
No, it's not.
No.
I don't know where they got that from. I
don't know where they got that from.
Zodiacs is
I
basically
feel like some
talking
people
about
just
the
asking
12
questions
cranial
just to
nerves in
be
the
asking
brain,
questions.
and the sun is the
I
pineal
just feel
gland.
like
It's
anything that they see outside of
everything
Christianity,
is
they just claim to be
a
Satanism.
form of
Yeah,
masonry
because I mean,
that
you think
works
about
in
it.
tandem with
The Bible was originally, well, I wouldn't say originally created, but the slave Bible, that tells a lot about what they wanted to use the Bible for. That was pretty much like the rough draft of, okay, what can we do to control these people? And then
Yep.
with it, when they decided like, okay, cool, we can't do slavery. All right, let's just make sure that we have we were already instilled a religion into them and got them believing in something outside themselves. Let's broaden it more to where we're saying these things is how you should govern your life, and these are things you should not do, and all that other stuff. So I mean, I feel like that's what it really came down to. Not saying that the Bible is bad, but I mean it stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth, and I mean it has a lot of good lessons in there. But it's just the way that they have brainwashed you to think certain things. Now you're reading it in a manner that it's not meant to be taken.
Honestly, I feel like it's neutral. It's not bad. It's not good. And this is why I'll tell you. It's everything is subjective. Everything is always subjective. Pretty much from this person's point of view, from that person's point of view. The Bible is meant for you to read it for yourself and interpret it in your own way and move your life in that way. There's technically no right way to read the Bible.
Okay.
So just like how, with the Halls of Amenti thing, how Billy Carson had one way of viewing it, and me and you saw it one completely different way.
Yeah, that's the viewpoints.
That's the Bible. And to an extent, that's good and evil. Like, depending on the person's moral code and, you know, where they waver at on that, something that somebody can deem as evil or as bad, to one person can be like, that ain't really that bad. Like, that was warranted.
That right there is the definition of I see a 6, you see a 9. I mean, neither one of us are
Yep.
wrong. Perspective. Where you standing at right there?
Yeah, you're right about that.
And I feel like there's some people to where they end up reading the Bible, and then as time goes on, they end up changing the way that they see the Bible based off things that they have gone through. And then finally, some things that they have read start clicking with them because they actually have gone through that and they see it of what it is now.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
you know
I
what's
feel like
crazy?
what's up?
As you said that, like, before people read the Bible, they thought one way, and then after they read it, they thought another way.
Mm-hmm.
That was me.
That shows growth.
Because as I read it, I'm like, yo, one, I don't understand a fucking word these people are talking about. Two, this God shows hella human traits. Like, you can't show another
He is a
motherfucker
jealous
that
guy.
does the same shit that I do some love, or I'm gonna get jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, I'm gonna give y'all free will. I'm gonna give you free roam, but then I'm gonna give you a whole bunch of fucking lists that even though I gave you free will, you gotta go by this.
Yep.
That's real human like. That ain't God like. If you all knowing, why would I give these motherfuckers free reign and then be like, you know what? You only allowed back in my house if you meet these stipulations. Even though I gave y'all the ability to do whatever the fuck you want to, I'm gonna force you to do what I want you to do, or you can't get into my house.
Preach.
Like, really make it make sense. And then the actual ideology of heaven, like, I just seen this in one of Dre's videos. Like, just like the 7 gates or the 7 levels of hell, there are 7 levels of heaven.
As above, so below. But the thing that with the 7 levels, what gets me is I'm like, how many levels of the ionosphere, the Earth's atmosphere are there as well? I'm like, yo, what
7.
if heaven is literally above us to where each layer? Because I mean, even in the book of Enoch, where he talks about the different heavens.
Yeah. That's what they were talking about.
It gets deep, bro. It gets deep. It gets deep. It's wild. It's wild. But hey, ooh, you making my feet palm sweat.
just like in the book of Adam, they don't call the Garden of Eden a fucking garden.
Yep.
It's a fucking, pretty much, it's a plantation.
Mm-hmm.
In so many words.
And again, that just goes into the Bible we have now. How many times has it been written by how many men? So how many we don't even know how many people have added or taken things from it. Like the Bible that we're reading now, it says thou shalt not add or remove, and we already know that there's been a bunch of things removed. So how can you already sit there and be like, oh, I trust and believe
this? We do know things were added.
Yeah,
we know things were added, and we knew,
and that's the thing though, because we don't know exactly
what whole books were taken out.
Exactly.
So it could never be the original, as in like the Ethiopian Bible. You know? So just like a lot of people like to talk about the 13 tribes of Israel, you don't think it's funny that there were 13 tribes of Israel, and then the starting of America had 13 colonies?
Ooh, I didn't make that correlation.
Those are the same families.
And then when you think about it too, I'm like, the first flag was 13 stars in a circle.
13 stars in a circle. Yep. Those were the 13 tribes of Israel.
Oh snap, bruh. Woo, we about to get in the zone. We
Nope.
we
That
about to get
is
in
the
the zone.
bloodline. That's the bloodline. Like power never changes. It's always going through the same family. Like even look at celebrities. Most of these celebrities that we see, these motherfuckers are related.
Yep, I
Like
believe it.
it's
It's the
no,
same thing with the
just
presidents.
by chance this person got just by chance this person got discovered. No, somewhere down the line they got a famous relative. Like when you realize how many of these actors, these rappers, these singers, all of these people that are in these spotlights, most of these motherfuckers are related. Either through blood or marriage.
Yep. Facts on facts. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them are freaking like cousins actually married together.
Yeah. Why not? They used to do it back in Greece. They used to do it
True.
back in England. They
True.
used to do it all over Europe to keep the money in the family. So why would they stop now? Best believe somebody done married a third or fourth removed cousin.
Logistical order of the universe. Just like when you go in court, you got the judge, represents justice, which is Jesus, which is also known as the Son. Then you got the 12 jurors, who are the 12 disciples, or the 12 planets, or the 12 zodiac signs. Same thing.
Oh shit.
Dang, I ain't never thought about that.
I didn't think about that either. I was like, hold on, what? Hold on, what? Hold on. Rewind that real quick. Rewind that real quick.
Yeah, he definitely got to run that back because I need a better
Yeah,
explanation of that.
I gotta hear that one more time, and I hope he gets into it a little more.
Yeah, I need an in-depth one
Oh man.
because that rat.
Is astrology satanic?
No, it's not. I don't know where they got that from. Astrology is not, the 12 zodiacs is basically talking about the 12 cranial nerves in the brain, and the sun is the pineal gland. Just like when you go in court, everything is a form of masonry that works in tandem with the logistical order of the universe. Just like when you go in court, you got the judge, represents justice, which is Jesus, which is also known as the Son. Then you got the 12 jurors, who are the 12 disciples, or the 12 planets, or the 12 zodiac signs. Okay. Same thing.
Damn, I'm so far up.
I've never heard that. That's dope. That is interesting.
Yo, I want to know where he got that download from.
The Elohim is basically the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, when you break down the etymology of the word
I've heard
Anunnaki,
that.
it means those sent by Anu to Ki means
Who
Kai.
come?
Kai is planet Earth.
Yep, those who came from the sky.
So the Anunnaki, you have two different factions. You got the cherubim and the seraphim in the Bible. The cherubim are the agreeable Anunnaki. The seraphim are the ones that, when you read the book of Enoch, they were casted out by going against the galactical order of Anu. So 1/3 of the galaxy was casted out to planet Earth. First, they was casted out to planet Saturn, which is also known as Satan, which is also known as the land of Nod, because they don't have a homeland, because they don't belong to this planet. So that's where you get the term. So the seraphim of the Bible.
Pause that right quick.
The cherubim of the Bible comes from.
Okay. So Westside said he heard something like this when he became a Mason. It's funny, I've talked to some Masons, they be saying some similar things. Like Mr. Sigma Uno, who be on there, he's a Mason, and he be dropping some stuff. Like he's the one who introduced me to the Book of Solomon, the story of Gilgamesh. Like, I'm like, yo. For example, if you ever go back onto the podcast, it's on Spotify. It's also on YouTube. We have an episode called "When Gods Meet," and it's like me, him, and another individual, and we get into some stuff. I was like, bro, I've been listening to my podcast, and I'm just like, ever since I changed my podcast title to Divine Time, I gotta say I've been blessed, bro. Like the knowledge that I've been getting has been ridiculous.
I'm so glad he put it in that way, because what a lot of people don't really understand when they talk about these beings and these different type of alien races.
Mm-hmm.
Every time the black people refer to the Anunnaki, they act like these motherfuckers is coming here to save us. They are not. Nobody.
You
Truly,
gotta save
truly,
you
truly,
gotta
truly,
save yourself.
nobody is solely coming here to save us.
Yep.
We have to save our own selves.
Yep.
The Anunnaki, when they created us in the first place, they created us to be slaves. Do people not understand that key part?
Preach.
Like, that's the thing that people, because I have very extensive understanding of it all. And I'm like, yo, these people only made us because they got tired of the motherfucking GG bitching. And they made the GGs. So pretty much, it's a fucking pattern. Anunnaki made a GGs. A GGs got motherfucking tired of doing all the fucking work. So the Anunnaki said, you know what? We'll make somebody to work for y'all. So they created us. And now what are we trying to do? Create AI. And what's going to happen eventually after we create AI? We're going to try to make that shit sentient.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's going to happen? Boom. The next version of human race.
I was listening to something and they were talking about the Greys, and they were like, Greys are not
Yeah.
aliens, they're just us in a failed timeline coming back trying to get human DNA so that way they can fix their cells, they fix their timeline. So their race is starting to die off, so they're trying to create hybrids to try and pretty much rejuvenate theirs. And I was just like, that
No,
makes a lot of sense, because I'm like, isn't that kind of the same thing that was happening with the Anunnaki or Anukai, however you want to call
no,
it? I'm like, with
no.
them, I'm like,
The Anukai,
they did their what was it Nibiru or whatever was dying, so they ended up
Nip,
creating us the mine for the
Nip,
gold to
the
replenish
gold,
their
yeah.
atmosphere.
Nibiru was, yeah, they needed to replenish the atmosphere.
Mhm.
That's why they created us.
And
Their
again, I'm
planet
like,
was
when it comes
dying.
down to it, I'm like, it's another failed time. I wouldn't say failed timeline, but something similar. There's a race that's dying off, and they need help to replenish where they are.
I wouldn't say a failed timeline. There's an actual video
Mhm.
on what the fuck the Greys are. Like a real actual Area 51 footage of what the fuck gray aliens are. Like, and a lot of people probably don't think that the video's fucking real,
Mhm.
but I believe it's a real video because they got multiple videos of the military interrogating this nigga in the bunker.
Yeah,
But from what he
I know. I think I
explains,
know what video you're talking about.
is his race came about from humans fleeing because of our own religious and political dogma. We embarked in a whole
This is America.
global nuclear
Don't catch you
war.
slipping up.
Huh?
No, I was saying, I was like, this is America. Don't catch you slipping up. What is everything America's doing right now?
Yeah. We slipped into a whole global war, a whole global nuclear war, and
Mhm.
everybody fucked the whole world up. So that's what led human beings to flee into outer space. And what happened is throughout time, what happens when you go to some place that you're not used to? Evolution takes effect because you have to get used to that environment now.
Yep.
It doesn't happen like automatically, it
Instantaneous.
happens gradually.
Yep.
So he was like, through time, his now human species, they were unable to reproduce with the human species, with the other humans. So all of their records were completely lost. So a lot of the Greys come back for information on what happened. So pretty much, Greys are time travelers.
All right. So Westside said that he had to take a call. He's asking what he missed, what we said. So with it, we just had Mr. What's his name? B. Dale. He just brought up a point where somebody asked the question, "Is astrology satanic?" And he said, "Nah." He was like, "Astrology is not satanic." He was like, it ties in with the zodiac, which ultimately you have the sun. He was like, and then the parts of the brain. He was like, for example, like when you go into court, you have the judge, which stands as justice, which would be Jesus, and you have the 12 jurors, which would be considered as the 12 disciples. And we were like, "Oh snap, never heard that before." And then we end up talking a little more into that and got into the grays, how well the Anunnaki, and then I threw out there and I was like, well, I heard that with that grays, they're not really aliens, they are us human beings from another timeline that got destroyed. So they are evolved versions of us that came back in time, creating hybrids, trying to save their own civilization, their own race, pretty much. So that's pretty much all that you missed right there.
Is connected to the Nephilim. The Nephilim, when you understand the word, the etymology, it comes from the word Nephala. Nephala is fallen angel. The 200 fallen angels. The 200 fallen angels that was kicked out with Enlil. So the cherubim are the bad ones and the seraphim are the agreeable. Because the seraphim, when you get the word serpent, because when you have the endocrine system in alignment in your chakra system, the serpent within you is where you get your knowledge and wisdom, where you get the Christ consciousness, to where you're vibrating on the same frequency as the Elohim. That's why that's why people be like, "Oh, we gods." We actually are gods because we're a microcosm of the macrocosm.
I like this one right here is because you already know, like this is why it's important for us to go out here for sure. Like we already stated in other videos too.
Yeah,
We got plans. We're gonna go and see these, like even the mounds. Like we're gonna go see all of these. Try to anyway, to do our due diligence, because a lot of people like Billy Carson, he has it. They can go out there to these other countries and check that stuff out. That's cool too. But I think we need to focus on what's happening here, and I think that's cool that y'all want to see us go do this stuff. We can bring y'all the information, and y'all know we ain't gonna hold no punches.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
that's a Sedona.
Hey, bro, I think I'm probably at some point, I'm probably gonna start podcasting full time. Like, I think I'm probably gonna start podcasting full time and just every day creating content and doing things like this. Just because of the fact that I like this has been like the biggest help to my mental health. Like I have not had a depression episode or anything since I was able to finally get back onto this constantly.
And yeah, I think you should.
I definitely am. A lot of people have been telling me too. Like a lot of people have been telling me, they're like, "Yo, your shit's about to blow up." I'm like, all right, cool. I ain't gonna do nothing to block my blessings. And I mean, it's already starting to take off.
Honestly, bro, I think it is. You just gotta go hard. Like
my thing
doing
is,
what you're saying.
My thing is like my wife been telling me, because like when my followers started jumping, I was just like, what the hell? And like when I've had more people start engaging with the podcast live while we're doing it, I'm not gonna lie, I got like a little flustered at first because I was like, in my head, I'm just like, fuck, I don't want this. I was a little worried of it blowing up. And then now I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing anything bad. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Don't.
I know who I am, all that other stuff. So I'm just like, whatever. And I mean, even I was like on another podcast before I started my own. Like I had people emailing me and stuff, and they were like, "Yo, where'd you go?" Like they really enjoyed me on that podcast because of my insight and shit. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Which I think that's one of the things that caused issues. But with it, I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I mean, it's helping people as well. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't really need to work a job, and a job is just over broke. So I'm like, at some point, I'm like, once I finish doing the things that I'm doing currently and get situated, I think I'm gonna probably start doing this full time and just be at home and just da. So every day I end up jumping on here, and then I'm gonna start incorporating the kids too, because me and my kids, like, we be having some good conversations too. Like my son. That boy, he can talk, and he be making connections with things, and I'm like, oh, that's a good point. And then we'll start adding on top of that, and I'm working with my kids constantly on their critical thinking. I don't want them to just see something and think that's what it is. I'm like, nah, question it, like question everything. Come up with your own ideas on it, because a lot of times that, like in the Bible, it says walk by faith, not by sight. I'm like, look, when you see something, question it so you can understand exactly what it is. Don't believe what people tell you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you see something? I was like, everything that you see is not what it is. I'm like, but at the same time, you need to work on that discernment also, because you may think something and that might not be what it is. That's a reason why it's important to ask follow-on questions. Never assume. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, exactly how it's spelled, ASS, you and me. I'm like, when you ask questions to seek that, to better understand what it is, I'm like, that's where a lot of people I feel F up.
Vortex, it's a very high intrinsic landmass of spirituality, because there's a certain spiritual apparatus and that phenomenon that takes place there. Everything as far as like the Grand Canyon and places like the Sedona Vortex or whatever, there all that stuff, they have an interstellar vortex portal. It can take you into the space-time continuum, literally. That's why they hide those energies over there.
And this thing is going. I can't even click it.
The big secret is that the carbon body is actually the epitome of creation. I'm, for those who understand what I'm talking about, they understand. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think the spiritual war that goes on is the God seed versus the serpent seed?
No.
Mm-hmm.
So he's misinterpreting the serpent, because, like I said, the serpent energy is a form of wisdom.
Yep.
That is the seraphim. The seraphim is connected to the seeds of Enki. So the seeds of Enki is basically a derivative of God in all caps, who was.
Ooh, pause. I want to say something real quick, going back to the Bible on that one, how they talk about the serpent fed the forbidden fruit. I'm like, yo, the thing that kills me is, like, even in today's society, they make knowledge seem like it's bad. One of the reasons why they try to ban TikTok, because of the fact that it's giving us people are able to pass
giving us knowledge.
Exactly. So I'm like, and I'm tying that in with the Bible. I'm like, yo, what they did was gave us knowledge, and y'all are trying to say the person gave us knowledge was the devil. I'm like, okay, cool. So when you're coming down to it, I'm like, the person who tried to help us and get us right was the one that y'all are trying to demonize. Now, I'm not saying like I'm a devil worshiper or nothing like that, but when you think about it, it's like, yo, they say knowledge is power, and everything that has been happening in the world, even before we were born, has been trying to make sure that we don't have power by taking the knowledge away from us.
Like, I'm not a Satanist or anything like that, but I have a very open mindset,
Mm-hmm.
and anybody who gets anywhere in life nowadays, they either throw you a Satanist, you in the Illuminati, you a devil worshiper, this and that. For 32 years, I've watched plenty of people praise God and ain't get no fucking where.
Exactly.
So who is the real God? This person that you keep praising that's giving you nothing, or the one that you praise and you tend to start getting things that you pray for?
Ooh-wee.
Because the ones that they saying pray for stuff and now they have this stuff, y'all are saying these motherfuckers worship the devil.
Bruh, hold up.
I looking from the outside, I've never understood those concepts. And then it goes back to when you was like, can God be the devil? Yes. And that's what Billy Carson was pretty much hinting at. Because if you think about it, Lil didn't even fucking like us.
Yeah, facts.
But that would be God. If you think about it in the Bible's text. Because that's who was talking to fucking Adam and Eve when he got back to the garden and realized that they had on clothes. That was Enlil that was talking to Adam and Eve.
Yep. You are not wrong.
So if you're going off of Enlil being God and Enki being the devil, then wouldn't those roles be completely switched if Inky was the one that was actually like, yo, you know, y'all can think for yourselves, right?
Yep.
Or Inky gave them the knowledge that, you know, they were sentient beings and they could reach the same levels. Now, notice, right now in today's society, what do we call somebody that crosses you? We call them a snake, ain't it?
Yes. Sorry, I had to go tell my son.
Why
to go
would
put
you
a
think the
pull-up on.
term? Huh?
I said, sorry, I had to go tell my son to go put a pull up on. Him and his sister. It's quiet time, nap time. It's time for them to go to sleep.
Like, why would you think the terminology would change just because the times have? Like,
Yep.
no, back then the snake was somebody that crossed you. And technically, Inky crossed in Lil for telling them niggas that, hey, y'all ain't no different.
Grab two of them, please. All right. It was confirmation. It was confirmation. And that is, again, that goes back to the knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why they try and strip the knowledge and put us on a curriculum that they created.
Yeah.
Because if you're being told these things and your whole life you're pretty much taught to believe what is told to you, you're not going to go look for it yourself. Especially if the only things that you know to look for are things that you have been told. And the way that they rewrite history, like for example, if you go online right now and try and type in Black Panther looking for the Black Panther movement, you're going to find the Disney movie Black Panther.
Yep. You will
They're-
not find the Black Panther Party.
Exactly. I'm like, you're not gonna learn about all these things of when we were trying to come together as a community and get our rights back and overthrow the government so that way we can live the life that we're supposed to be living. Because now it's all going to be some fairy tales and things that look good. But anyway, I digress.
The thing about that is,
we can talk about
even if you look up the Black Panther Party, you'll probably find like some Party City shit, but you won't literally find nothing. Like, you'll have to look up actual names. Fred Hamp, Afeni Shakur, Asada Shakur.
But if you don't know what to look for, you're just going to keep going in circles.
Yep. It's just going to go in circles. And that's what they do with knowledge. With true knowledge, you got to do some fucking digging to get it. Like the fake shit. Oh, the fake shit going to be all up in your face.
Yep.
Sprinkled with some real shit. But it's going to be so much fake shit that when you see the real shit, it's like, man, that got to be dumb. That got to be fake.
Hey, bro, you know, with dealing with narcissists and all that shit, one of the sayings that I really learned was it's easy to fool someone, but it's harder to convince someone that they've been fooled.
Uh-huh.
That right there, it doesn't even deal with just dealing with manipulative individuals. I'm like, that deals with life in general. Because I'm like, if you are living a lie, it's hard for anybody to tell you that no, you're living a lie. Because you're
something about the manipulative trait. Okay. Everybody has a manipulative trait. Oh, everybody has a manipulative trait to them in their body. Everybody has one. Right?
I agree.
So, the only time people actually bring up manipulation is when it doesn't benefit them in their life.
I can see that.
That is the only time when somebody has an issue with manipulation. Say you're trying to like, say you trying to get the best deal for some shit that you can. That shit right there, that takes manipulation to talk somebody down on the price.
Yeah.
So people only complain about manipulation when they don't benefit from that shit. Everybody gets manipulated in this world.
Yep. And everybody manipulates. Like, I look at my kids and like they be trying to manipulate me sometimes, and I'm like,
the first one.
Okay. I'm like, nah, bro, especially when they try to play that mommy daddy game. But I mean, even when it comes down to it, if everybody's looking out for their own welfare, I'm like, manipulation can be good, manipulation can be bad. I'm like, when you're trying to manipulate things in a way that could possibly hurt people in any type of aspect, I'm like, I feel like that's kind of the bad manipulation. If you are manipulating because something bad is happening to you, and then you're trying to go ahead and turn it into a positive thing. For example, like if let's go back to the salesman thing, where they're trying to manipulate you to have you pay for a car so that way they can get more money, but at the same time, you know that the car is not worth that much, so therefore you end up flipping it back on them to get what it's worth. I'm like, okay, you're not doing anything bad per se, and they're not doing anything bad per se. But again, that comes with perspective, I guess. So I guess you can really say like, is a neutral thing, also based off
this
of
exactly what you're saying. This whole world is based off of your own perspective. Look at the fucking definition of narcissism.
Pulling it up
or narcissistic. Yeah, look up the definition of it.
I'm going right now, bro. Of narcissist or narcissistic?
Narcissistic, it's the same.
Yeah. Let me just see if I can. Boom. I'm just gonna go ahead and share this one right here.
And you will be the only podcast to ever do this.
So with it says having an excessive or erotic interest in oneself and one's physical appearance. No,
that's what narcissistic means.
Yeah.
That's narcissistic.
So when it comes down to it, everybody is a narcissist, pretty much. Because if you are focusing on yourself, then I guess that puts you into the category of an narcissist.
The actual narcissist that people are referring to, like the ones that are on CSI and shit like that, that's a less than 1%.
Is extreme self-involvement to the degree that it makes a person ignore the needs of those around them. While everyone may show occasional narcissistic behavior, true narcissists frequently disregard others or their feelings. They also do not understand the effect that their behavior has on other people. Okay, last part.
Go back.
I feel like
it's not even the last part.
That last part, I feel like that does not apply because everybody has a little bit of narcissistic traits, I should say.
It says it in the definition. Everybody may have a little bit.
Yeah. While everyone
so right is it such a bad thing?
May show occasional narcissistic behavior, true narcissistics frequently disregard others. So I mean that right there goes into the BDSM-5. So I mean when you go into a clinical diagnosis. But I'm like, if you're talking about just the actual definition of narcissist, I'm like, that right there is extreme self-involvement to the degree that it makes a person ignore the needs of those around them. So I mean, when it comes down to how we were talking about earlier, where you want to go back to being a child, how children don't allow anybody to affect them. They're focused on their own happiness. Like, yo, fuck you and what you feel. I'm doing something that makes me happy.
Children are the biggest narcissists in the world. Fuck you and them bills. I want these Nike shoes.
Pretty much. Fuck you and them bills. I want these Nike shoes.
Yeah. Like children are the biggest narcissists.
Yeah. True. You see it, especially like with kids that have siblings, where it's like, okay, you having fun doing something, then all of a sudden you see your sibling is playing with a ball, they having fun. Now all of a sudden you want that ball, and you're gonna take that ball.
Yep.
It makes you happy now. Like, yeah,
narcissism is a part of human nature.
Even when it comes down to them throwing a temper tantrum because they didn't get what they want, that's a child.
Manipulation. The temper tantrum is a form of manipulation. Oh, you don't want to give me what I want? Okay, I'm gonna throw this big over-exaggerated fit until you do.
Oh, snap! What's good, caramel latte? But yeah, like you talk.
Yeah, that's pretty much like everything that we start to label bad. A lot of people just spew that shit up out of their mouth, and they don't actually go to think let me go look this word up to see what this shit actually means. Most people only heard narcissistic or narcissism from CSI, where they were referring to a serial killer.
Yep. And that once you label something as something bad, and then people tend to run with it. And again, where bad things seem to get more recognition than good things.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you tell somebody like, "Oh, he's a fuck boy," and all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh, that person's an F boy," and then for some reason people tend to gravitate more towards that F boy.
To that fuck boy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, and I mean, again, going back to
Like
what is good will be seen as bad, and what is bad will be seen as good. Like, yo,
Like-
it's wild.
like
How are you?
like I bumped into one of my exes on a date now,
Mhm.
and her profile said she just wanted to have somebody to talk to. So hell, we already know each other. Ain't no familiarities need to be said. So I
Yeah.
just sent her a message saying, "Let's talk."
Mhm.
She's like, "Why would you just say that? That's so lame." And I'm like,
You said you just want
"What's
someone to
wrong
talk
with being? What's wrong with being lame?
to. Yeah.
Like that's the
She wants
That's
some
what's
type of
wrong.
excitement. She wants some type of excitement.
Yeah, that's
She
what's
wants
wrong.
things to be happening that put her that fluctuate her emotions to where now she's flustered and doesn't know how to feel, which makes her keep coming back. Unfortunately.
But
Hold
truth
up.
be
I got a
told,
phone call.
oh shit, go ahead.
What's good, boss?
What's up, guy?
I'm living, having a good conversation. Watching the Dre OG. I'm trying to get you on there because I got Rio on with me, and we having a dope ass conversation, my guy. Rio, you remember him from a couple of the panel conversations.
What planet? What platform you on?
I'm on StreamYard. I emailed it to you. I got the link there. Just click the link, and it'll bring you right into the room.
All right.
All right. See you in a little bit.
That's the elder with the dreads, ain't it?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a wise brother right there. That's a
Yeah,
wise brother.
that man.
That's a wise brother. He definitely
yeah.
gonna be able to give us some insight on that. But yeah,
he's the one that's helping me grow my book collection. I'm not even calling it
most
collection. He's
definitely.
the one that's helping me grow my scholar mentality. Because I mean, he's got me reading some good stuff, bro. And I mean, like, if you go and look at the episode last week Saturday, bro, man was pulling book after book after book. Like we talking about something, he's like da da da. He's like, I actually reference this from this book, and he's talking about something else.
I'm gonna have to go there.
Bro, what?
I'm gonna have to go there because, bro, I gotta pick his bookshelf, bro. Cause he be too dialed in, bro. I gotta pick his bookshelf.
That man is smart. He is wise. It is funny because I met him when I came down here, and like we hit it off like right away. We hit it off right away. Like I love his man.
He definitely needs to do a top 5 book. Top 5 books you need to read.
We talking about your book collection, my guy.
Who that? Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, man, you be dropping so many gems, bro. I gotta pick your book collection, bro. I gotta see where you getting this knowledge from, man.
So we was Dark Rio, he's down, he's a couple states down, and I was telling him, I was like, bro, we need to start a book club. I was like, with it, I was like, we can start mailing books back and forth because a lot of the books he wants to get, I'm like, we got those books. I was like, so we can be passing the knowledge and like reading it, and I'm like, shoot, every week we can come together and talk about it because now we'll have those accountability buddies. So it's like if you're reading a book that you've already read and I'm reading one, it's like, bud, I can mention this and then boom, your perspective. We can talk about books like that. Because I'm like, you already know how I always say impossible. A lot of people want to hold with you, but nobody want to grow with you. And it's rare to find people who want to grow with you. And I'm just like, yo, I was like, we need to get that. We need to get that cracking off for real. That'd be dope.
Please,
I just don't like to give away my books. I got a problem with like giving.
Oh no. Yeah, you ain't got to do that, but you definitely got to tell us some books to read.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I
don't need you to give me the book. I just want to know what book it is.
So
I can go get the knowledge myself. I just need to know the source.
Like, yo, because we were just talking about the Bible earlier, and we were like, yo, matter of fact, hey, Rio, is it safe to say that I can go ahead and take this video and turn that off, or you want to keep it going?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Talking points.
Oh hell yeah, because we finna get this work in.
Yeah,
y'all was reacting to Brother D Bell.
D Bell and Dre OG, like they've been dropping
Dre OG,
This is the 3-hour live stream they did last night.
Okay.
Bro, the knowledge D Bell was kicking remind me a lot of what you be saying.
Yeah, like bro, he had a point earlier where a person asked the question, is astrology satanic? And D Bell was like, he was like, no, he was like, astrology deals with the zodiacs. He was like, honestly, when it comes down to it, he was like, you can think of it as the same way of going into he was like the zodiacs. He was like tying in with the court system. He's like, you have the judge, which stands for justice, which is like Jesus, and you have the 12 jurors, which will be the 12 disciples. He was like, we were like, yo, never thought of it like that. What the fuck? He even talked about the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. He's like, that there is the holistic of the mind, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I was like, bro, every time I hear somebody say that, I'm gonna start doing that now. I'm like, that's the whole mind.
Yep.
I'm just, yo,
your left, your right side, and your pineal.
Yep. It's
been
wicked.
They call it hemisync, left, right brain hemisync.
Left, right hemisync?
Yeah, because you bringing both sides of the mind together.
Mm-hmm.
So most people, they want to come in and they want to automatically go to the pineal gland, but they may not even understand how their mind works. Matter of fact, hold on one second, y'all talking.
You gotta grab a book. You gotta grab a book
for that.
I told you, boy. He got the books on deck. Man,
okay.
I love this.
Oh yeah, give me something to look up.
So this right here,
how to learn anything.
Yeah. So what this did is it gave you a test and it tells you how your mind actually received the information, how you process. So whether you are a visual learner, whether you're more kinetic, whether you're more auditorial, so it lets you know the exact way of how your mind actually works. So you take a test and then you go and you read your left and right brain of how those two come together. So you'll have a better understanding for yourself of how your mind works versus, oh, I'm learning this, but you don't even know how your mind, you don't know how the basic function of your own mind works.
Hey, oh my God, who's the author?
Ricky Lipskin. Can you see that?
Ricky Lipskin?
Yeah.
All right, let me put that in my notes.
Is it Lipskin?
LinkSman.
Hold up. One more time.
LinkSman.
Got it.
So in here, they also talks about the many benefits of knowing your best learning link, improving your ability to learn, study, and take tests. So they call it a super link. You can see it here. Super link. You're grasping different aspects of how the mind really works. Your own mind, not just you going to school teaching you something in school, but actually how does your mind truly work? That's it right there. That's it right there. So this is just a good read. And I've read all of them because I want to be able to understand how people's minds really work. So not just looking at one aspect and say, oh, I'm more visual and auditorial. I want to know how kinetic mind works. I want to know how, you know what I'm saying, an auditorial mind works. So I read all of them. Can they tell you whether you are a left or right brain dominant?
So you read up on other people's minds, not just your own?
Correct. It's the same thing as reading, like understanding the zodiac or understanding signs. You still would want to understand all 12 zodiacs. So they give you 12 zodiacs, so they don't give you the number 13. The number 13 is supreme. That's your high intelligence.
I was just about to say, I was like, shouldn't there be 13 zodiacs? But
it is. And they actually, quote unquote, have found the 13 zodiac, but they're not really in mainstream with it.
It's Horus.
Huh?
The 13th zodiac is Horus.
There you go. So that's all about resurrection in itself. If you're talking about Horus, he's a victor. He's the one that flew, you know what I'm saying? He's the one that rises up. That Heru energy.
Yep. Sun God.
She's in bread, bruh. We getting deep now. But yeah, I'm like,
things we don't have to agree with each other. I will go look up some things that I don't necessarily believe that he say, and then I find out for myself. That's not going to change my opinion on him.
Right.
You know, we gotta raise that level, and that's talking about raising our vibrations, and that's like embracing our brothers and our sisters. You know, like just because we don't agree with certain things don't mean that, you know, it has to be something bad, man.
That's facts. Somebody in it, like I love like your chat, man, because they, you know, they giving me, because I know a lot of people they don't understand how the political infrastructure of the socio-political aspect of civics works in conjunction with Christianity. And so when you understand the word Christian, right, where did it come from? A lot of people don't know where the word Christian comes from. When you go to the G3526 Strong Concordance, the word Christian translates to the word black. Black is a nomenclature title that takes you out of your sovereign and your spiritual capacity that connects you to the 1724 Black Christian codes. So when you're talking about the word
less than a person,
Christian, or the word Christ and Lord is not the same thing. Lord is a nomenclature title. A Lord is a person who is basically an overseer. That's why I said you got to get a Black's Law Dictionary, 3rd and 4th edition.
I got to get one of those.
A Lord, right? The Lord is basically it's a Babylonian term, right? Christ is a certain consciousness. It's an energy. Lord and Christ are not the same entities.
Nope.
So that's why I said people who are stuck in Christianity, you got to start breaking down these words and know where they come from. Because Lord in the political system, y'all like your landlord, like a lawyer. When you look up the word lawyer in a Black's Law Dictionary, a law dictionary, the word lawyer is Lord. So Christ is not Lord.
He said it sound like that's funny. It sound like jail yard information. That's funny as hell. Hey, he said something like that. But look, real talk though. No, it do be sounding kind of crazy sometimes until you look that shit up for yourself. That's why we say look it up.
Just get a Black's Law Dictionary, bro.
It sounds crazy. I get it, but yeah, look that joint up, bro. Like real talk. Look it up. Just like they call us sea monsters and all this other shit. You know. It's a reason why. Don't we kind of look like sea monsters when we in the fucking in our mama's stomach at first?
Yeah.
Like think about it. Then you turn into a fucking lizard. Then we have a reptilian brain, and you start looking all this shit up. It's really in our bodies. It's true, nigga.
Yes,
Like what? Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
We're not crazy. That's not a conspiracy.
Impossible. We've been on here for like 3 hours, guys.
That's what I tell people all the time, man.
He said, "Where can I get that Bible they talking about?"
Earlier, but
If they never heard it before, or if they never read it and they never came across of it, they automatically think it's fake. That's indoctrination.
Some people are a little bit off. Like if you pay attention to certain people, I pay attention to everything at one time. See, I see the broader.
Hey, Westside, you talking about the Black Law Dictionary?
Spectrum. Some people, when you pay attention to them,
I think he talk about the Ethiopian Bible.
Oh, the Ethiopian. You can probably order that on Google. The only thing is like
you
when
can order it.
I feel like when things get translated into English, I feel like it loses some things. That's just how I feel.
Don't get the cheap one.
Don't get the cheap one.
Real talk. Don't get the cheap one.
Always understand the etymology of words. And I mean, give me that yellow thin book right there, talking about mirror and the mirror. Yeah, right there.
Man, you dropping another book? Which one now?
How they morph words. Well, man. What's it?
Myrrh to more. All right, I'm about to type that one up. What is it?
It's mirror to more, Kemet until now. The etymology, the phonology, the semantics, and the morphology of the word more. So they're telling you how they changed the word. So that's what Vidal was talking about. If you're not going back and you reading old things or what the etymology of what it really meant, then all we're doing is we're just repeating something that oppressors write for their own control.
You're right.
There you go.
Myrrh to more. Bet. Bro, man, dropping some stuff, bro. Yes. You writing this down? Rio?
You're right about that. Oh, hold on. I'm about to screenshot it right now.
When understanding how they can change and morph words, that's what Brother Vidal was talking about. When you go back and you can change how someone look at a word, and they're defining that from the definition that you gave them. What kind of power you hold?
Hey, that's me and Rio were just talking about that with the word narcissist. And we were just like,
Yeah.
yo, they end up giving it a whole new meaning because all of us have narcissistic traits and behaviors within us, but all of a sudden
course.
they end up turning it into a whole bad thing based off of the diagnosis of the word. So now it's
Oh,
like people
that's
have
a
this
control.
connotation of it. Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
Bro, I'm so glad you said diagnosis. Nah, real talk, because definition and diagnosis are two different things.
they are.
Yes. Yes.
And I mean, that goes
Diagnosis
into
is
what
like you putting
Impossible.
a label on something.
That goes to like what Impossible was talking about, and how that he's saying with this book, how they literally, what it says, semantics and morphology of the word. So I mean, this.
They made you black so you forget your Morris right.
Yep.
So now you walking around saying, I'm a black man.